Jeremy Hunt has said the government will spend what it takes to make schools safe from crumbly concrete. The Chancellor did not give a figure but told the World News Sunday with Laura Quensberg, "We must spend this money. More than 100 schools must shut fully or partially due to risky reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete, RAAC." Labour said Mr. Hunt's funding promise was a bare-bones response to a crisis that will be the defining image of 13 years of Tory government. The Treasury says Mr. Hunt's promise does not mean any new money outside of current budgets. The repairs will be paid for through unallocated funds for schools in existing departmental budgets. The Chancellor said that the majority of schools in England where RAAC has been identified were able to operate at least partially, and said the government would continue to act very, very fast to mitigate any new risks that were found. "We had an exhaustive process of going through every one of the 22,000 schools since 2018, he said, referencing a survey commissioned in England after an incident when RAAC in a building failed. He added that new information came to light in the summer about heightened risks, and the Education Secretary acted immediately. That new information is understood to be the collapse last week of a beam made from aerated concrete, which had been thought to be safe. The Chancellor said it would not lead to months of disruption. This problem is currently affecting around 100 schools, but the majority of those are able to operate face-to-face, he added. Which schools have shut buildings or moved pupils? Are other buildings at risk of concrete failure? Heads in weekend dash to make schools safe to open. Mr. Hunt said he did not want to speculate on press reports that 7,000 schools could ultimately be found to be at risk, but acknowledged that more awkward and difficult information could come to light. He added, "What people need to know is that however difficult it is, we will do absolutely what it takes." RAAC has become a serious political problem for the government, and raises questions about its whole approach over the years to cutting spending on public buildings. When there is pressure on budgets, so-called capital spending cash for infrastructure and buildings is an easy target. However, the risk is that in the long term, those cutbacks have nasty effects. Labour says that RAAC is a prime example. The government has yet to publish a full list of schools that have been forced to fully or partially shut, but says it will do so in due course. The World News has created its own of those it knows are affected. Labour has said it will try to force publication after the Commons returns from summer recess on Monday. It has also demanded an urgent audit of the public sector estate on the impact of the material. Bridget Phillipson, the Shadow Education Secretary, said the country needed to know exactly what is going on. She added it was all good and well that Mr. Hunt had promised to spend, but that is the bare bones. "The chickens are coming home to roost," she said. "I can think of no more a defining image of 13 years of Tory government than children being sat in classrooms under metal props to prevent ceilings from falling on their heads.